Why Cardinal Tagle wouldn't want to be the next pope. There has been growing speculation in recent years about whether Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle could be the next pope. As one of the most recognizable and beloved figures in the Catholic Church today, he possesses qualities that many believe would make him an ideal candidate: deep faith, humility, charisma, theological brilliance, and a profound ability to connect with people from all walks of life. He is known for his warmth, his pastoral heart, and his ability to break down complex theological ideas into messages that resonate with ordinary people. His rise within the church has been remarkable. From his early years as a young priest in the Philippines to his appointment as Archbishop of Manila and later as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, a crucial role that oversees the church's missionary work, Cardinal Tagle has been on a trajectory that many believe could lead him to the papacy. He is often compared to Pope Francis, sharing the same pastoral approach, concern for the poor, and emphasis on evangelization. He has been described as a Pope Francis 2.0, a continuation of the current pontiff's vision for a more inclusive, merciful, and missionary church. But despite all these reasons why he could be the next pope, the more interesting question is, would he actually want to be pope? And the answer, when you examine his life, his spirituality, and his personality, might very well be no. Unlike political positions, where individuals often campaign for leadership roles, the papacy is not something that is sought after. It is a heavy responsibility that is accepted with deep humility. When Pope Benedict XVI appointed Tagle as a cardinal in 2012, his reaction was striking. He broke down in tears, not out of joy or ambition, but out of the overwhelming realization of the weight of responsibility that had just been placed on his shoulders. He later admitted that he had never desired to be a bishop, let alone a cardinal, and that his life's goal had always been simple: to serve where he was needed. That moment tells us a lot about his character. Unlike some figures in the church who might quietly hope to climb the hierarchy, Cardinal Tagle has consistently shown that he does not seek power or status. If becoming a cardinal already made him emotional, imagine how he would feel if he were elected pope. He understands, perhaps more than most, that being the Bishop of Rome is not a reward or a privilege. It is a cross to bear, a lifetime commitment that requires total surrender of one's personal desires for the greater good of the church. One of Cardinal Tagle's greatest strengths is his ability to connect with people on a deeply personal level. He doesn't just preach to large crowds. He listens, engages, and makes people feel seen and heard. Whether he is speaking to youth at an international gathering, comforting the poor, or delivering a homily, he has a way of making everyone feel like they are in a conversation with a friend, rather than being lectured by a church leader. The papacy, however, is an office that inevitably distances the Pope from the people. The sheer magnitude of the role, with its political and administrative demands, makes it nearly impossible for the Pope to have the kind of close, personal relationships that a priest, bishop, or even a cardinal can enjoy. The Pope is constantly surrounded by security, advisors, and protocol. Every word he speaks is scrutinized. Every move he makes is analyzed. His life becomes a series of highly structured events, diplomatic meetings, and carefully crafted statements. For someone like Cardinal Tagle, who thrives in moments of genuine connection, this kind of existence might feel suffocating. While Pope Francis has worked hard to break down barriers and be as close to the people as possible, there are still inevitable limitations. The Pope cannot just sit down in a small chapel with parishioners and have a casual conversation like a priest can. He cannot walk into a market and chat with vendors without a team of security surrounding him. Cardinal Tagle, with his deep love for personal engagement, may find that the papacy would take away one of the things he values most about his ministry. Being pope is not just about being the spiritual leader of Catholics. It also involves leading the Vatican, dealing with complex theological and moral issues, and responding to global crises. The Pope has to navigate tensions between different factions within the Church, manage relationships with world leaders, and address deep-seated challenges like clerical abuse scandals, declining church attendance in the West, and growing persecution of Christians in certain parts of the world. While Cardinal Tagle is no stranger to leadership, his role as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples already places him at the center of the church's global missionary efforts. Taking on the papacy is an entirely different level of responsibility. The Pope is under constant pressure to respond to controversies, clarify church teachings, and make difficult decisions that will inevitably upset some groups. No matter what he does, he will face criticism from both conservatives and progressives within the church. Does Cardinal Tagle have the wisdom and strength to handle these challenges? Certainly. But would he want to? That's a different question. He may feel that his gifts are better used in a different capacity, continuing to work in evangelization and pastoral care, rather than stepping into a role where much of his time would be spent managing crises and navigating church politics. Another key reason why Cardinal Tagle might not want to be Pope is his deep love for his roots. As a Filipino, he comes from a culture that values humility, service, and community over individual achievement. While many in the Philippines would see his election as a historic moment, potentially making him the first modern pope from Asia, Tagle himself has never been one to seek symbolic victories. He has always emphasized the importance of service over status, mission over titles. Filipino culture also places a strong emphasis on family and personal relationships. While priests and bishops already live lives of celibacy and service, the papacy is an even greater level of isolation. The Pope belongs to the entire world, and even his closest friends and family members must relate to him differently once he assumes the office. For someone who has always valued deep personal connections, this could be an incredibly difficult sacrifice. At the end of the day, whether Cardinal Tagle becomes Pope is not something he can control. The conclave of cardinals, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, will discern who should lead the church when the time comes. But if we look at Cardinal Tagle's own words, actions, and character, it seems unlikely that he wants to be Pope. He is a man who thrives on closeness with people, who values humility over titles, and who understands the immense burden of the papacy. But ironically, it is precisely because he does not desire power that so many believe he should be Pope. His reluctance, his humility, and his deep trust in God's will make him a compelling candidate. And perhaps that is how God often works, choosing those who least desire power to lead with the greatest wisdom and love. So, will Cardinal Tagle be the next Pope? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, whether he is Pope or not, he will continue to serve with the same joy, compassion, and humility that have made him one of the most beloved leaders in the Catholic Church today. What do you think? Should Cardinal Tagle be the next Pope? Do you agree that his humility makes him an even stronger candidate, or do you think he is better suited for his current role? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content about faith, leadership, and the Catholic Church. Thanks for watching.